Hi, I'm Wilson Smith.
And I'm Crystal Campbell. Welcome to Breaking Chains.
Our guest tonight is Britni Leathers. She's got 4 years clean now. She attends our meetings here at Unchained Recovery. Britni, it's great to see you today.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for gracing us with your
Hi.
Well, you're happy to have you here on our show.
I'm happy to be here.
So, Britni, how did you fall into addiction?
I guess the first time I tried anything was pain pills when I had my first child, when I had a C-section, and the doctor gave them to me legitimately, and I started taking them, and I realized that when I wasn't hurting and took them, that they made me feel amazing. So it started from there, and I went from there to taking any kind of pill I could get a hold of, to shooting up Dilaudid, to smoking meth, and then shooting up meth. I mean, I've done pretty much anything you could think of once. And it was just a hole I could never get out of until I got busted in 2017. And they came in my house and took my children away, and I lost everything. Mm-hmm. From that point, I went to jail. I spent the night there, first time ever, not knowing where my kids were or, what was going on the outside. I was scared to death. And when I got out, I went to rehab. And I knew I had to get my children back. That was my main reason for going. It wasn't for me, which it should have been. They say it's supposed to be for you, but it was for my kids. And I went to rehab September 11th of 2017, and I haven't touched anything since. Thank God.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Did the addiction cause trouble in the family? I know it took your kids away, but with your...
Well, there's still distance between me and my mother about it. She still doesn't trust me. Even after 4 years, she still doubts me, all the time. I just keep doing what I do every day, and if she can't see it, then she's blind, because I live it every day. So, it definitely caused problems between me and my fiance, too, because he didn't do anything, and he blamed me for everything that was happening. And that was my fault because of the drugs, so... It caused major problems there.
So, did it cause you to do things that's not your normal self?
Oh, absolutely. I used people. I told my grandparents I needed money for a bill or something, and I would go, use it for drugs. And I mean, my kids never did without. Thanks to my grandparents, they helped me get the necessities they needed and extra, stuff they needed. But I wouldn't work. I wasn't dependable, And now I've had the same job for 4 years, and I love my job. And I don't plan on going anywhere, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long did you use?
For probably 15 years, on and off, the pills, and then, different things as I've phased through my life, and the different people I was around, also changed the things that I did.
Yeah, people, places, and things.
Oh, big. That's big.
That is.
That's probably one of the biggest things to me. That I tell people, if you don't get away from the people that you use with or people that are using, then your success rate is like almost zero. Because it is hard. I mean, I'm a recovering addict. I can't be around that kind of stuff,
Right.
I just can't do it. I trust myself, but I don't completely trust myself, so I just distance myself from it, as much as possible. I still try to help people that are using, though.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a thin line, helping people that are using and trying to stay away from it, because you still want to be with them and around them to help them and guide them, but you don't want to put yourself so far in it that you fall where they are.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yes, I've been there. I had to cut some folks off because they were getting too close to me. You got boundaries when you're clean and sober, and when they start getting into your area, you're like, wait a minute, you're gonna have to back up. Let me do this from afar, and I love you. Just stay over there.
Right. Yeah, it's hard. Like I said, it's a thin line. It's really complicated sometimes.
And it's hard to break off from helping folks.
Mm-hmm.
When you've done it for so long, and then you feel like you have to get away from people, places, and things, and you do for a short time, just to get to know who you are and how strong you are in recovery. And then when you do start helping folks, you sort of have the doubt in the back of your head.
Am I gonna?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you fall right into just helping them and,
Right.
and not letting them get too close, even though you love them.
Right.
You know, they're, you know.
And sometimes I consume myself with it. Like if like one of my friends is, you know, and I see them struggling. Like right now, there's a girl in my mind that I've been trying to get a hold of that her house is like junked out. I have no idea where she is. I've tried to get a hold of her on Facebook. She won't respond. I don't know if she's in jail. Surely if she was dead, somebody would have told me. But
Yeah.
I want to reach out to her somehow so bad, you know, and I don't know how. It's hard to figure that out sometimes when they're moving from place to place. I'm glad my life's not like that anymore.
Yeah, me too.
I'm in one place, home,
Yep.
every
Yeah.
night, you know, in my bed. And I don't have to be scattered and worried about where my kids are because they're with me.
Right. Well, what led you to get cleaned up and your life working and get the addiction kicked out? What happened?
It wasn't my choice, actually. It was the police knocking on my door and telling me, you know, open the door. And they searched my house and they found drugs in there and my kids were in there. And like I said, I went to jail for one night and that was just, and my kids got taken away. That was enough for me. Some people, their bottoms are different, you know. Some people have to lose everything. And some people nearly die before they,
Right.
and some people do die, unfortunately, you know, before they realize that it's too late. Because when you're in the middle of that addiction, you don't realize how far down you are, actually, until you come up. And then you're like, oh my goodness, you know.
Yep.
It's crazy. The things that I could think of that I used to do. Like we used to go, I don't know if I should say this or not.
You can say anything you want.
Okay. We used to go like steal stuff from Walmart and go to the pawn shop and pawn it for money because we wouldn't work, you know. I know thousands of people that do that and they still do it. But I would be scared to death to walk into Walmart and steal something now. You know what I mean? That's how my mind's changed, I think, and my conscience.
Oh, yes.
Like I could never do stuff that I used to do.
Oh, me neither.
It's bad.
Yeah, like you said, we don't know how far low we are until we have to climb up out of that hole.
Right, yeah.
Well, how did you get on drug court?
I went to court on my charges, and my lawyer went in there and talked to the district attorney or whatever, and came back out and said, sit down. And I said, what? Because I'm thinking this is my first set of charges. I've never been, not even a misdemeanor before. And so he comes in and he says, sit down. So I sat down and he said, they're wanting to give you 5 years. I said, probation? And he said, no, 5 years in jail. And I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So you need to go back and talk to them about something different, you know. So he comes back and he said, okay, so we can do the RID program, which is like, I don't know how many weeks. I didn't want to be away from my kids that long, either way. Or we can do drug court. And I thought, oh, yeah, I can do drug court, surely. I thought it was kind of a joke, you know, like probation. It definitely wasn't.
Right.
There's no cheating. There's no
slip up.
None of that stuff going on. Because if you do, you will go to prison. And that judge does not play about it.
He doesn't.
No.
He's very strict on us, but he loves us all.
Yeah, I think he does too. I really like him.
Yeah, I know his backstory. So he.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really cares for us.
Wow. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he had a daughter in our situation.
Oh, wow. So that puts him really close to it now.
Yeah, that's he has said more than once that, you know, he gives us tough love because we need it.
Oh yeah, we do. That's exactly, drug court is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, me too.
I think a lot of people would do better if they would use drug court like they did with us instead of throwing them in prison the first time.
Oh yeah.
Now I understand if you went to drug court and you didn't do it and you didn't do what you're supposed to do, then do that. But if you have a drug problem, drug court is exactly the answer.
Right.
Because I would have never woke up one day and said, oh, I think I'm just going to stop, and stopped, you know?
Right.
I had that in my mind 1,000 times, but I never actually acted on it.
Right.
I just kept doing the same thing I was always doing, and I kept getting the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, it pretty much saved my life. It saved my family, you know? It made my life so much better.
How much longer do you have?
I have about 6 months left on drug court.
So you're phase 5?
I will. I'm moving up next court date. I'm moving to phase 5. Thank
Good
you.
job.
So awesome.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so excited.
People like you make me think I can do this.
You can do it. You've already got it. What are you talking
I
about?
know.
You're already, like when I was 2 years in, I still wasn't completely sure. I was still sitting back there going, man, if I can just make it out of here, I'm going to smoke a joint as big as my leg, you know.
Yeah.
But now I don't even think about that. I just think about, yes, I don't have to call at 5 o'clock anymore. I don't have to worry about driving the Tupelo anymore, you know. That's the kind of things I think about now.
Yeah.
Instead of.
Yeah, your mindset changes.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, I guess that's why it's 3 years long and it's broke down into like 6 and 9 months.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, our mindset changes from first phase, second phase. And
It's crazy, really.
If you don't have it by third phase, you know, you might not
You're in
make
trouble,
it.
yeah. You're exactly
And,
right. You're
Yeah.
exactly right.
So I'm guessing since you had to steal, you weren't a functioning addict?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I took care of my kids at home. Like I was I didn't ever want to leave my house though. Hardly ever did I want to leave. I stayed in the house and I cleaned and I cooked and I bathed and all that. But I wasn't there emotionally for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wasn't
Exactly.
reading books like I do now. I wasn't sitting down and coloring like I do now. You know, things like that they need.
Right.
You know, they needed all the stuff I was doing, but they needed more than that.
Right.
They deserve a lot more than that. You know.
Don't they?
Yes, they're
Does
so
it
sweet.
feel
I just
good
love
to give it to them now?
It does, and I
To be a
feel
mother?
Yes, it does. It feels really good. It feels different now
Yeah.
because I'm actually a mother. You know, I'm actually
Yeah.
involved in everything that they're doing. Where before I was just taking care of them. You
Right.
know, it was just robot stuff. Like I feed them and I bathe them and they play and I'm doing whatever. Just it's a totally different experience sober.
It is.
It is.
And it's awesome.
I love it.
What's your clean date?
September 11th of 2017.
Awesome.
Yeah, September 11th. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, nobody will.
Yeah, nobody will. You'll always remember mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said when they told me I could come September 11th. I was like, golly, really? Okay, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have meetings for the rest of your life? Do you think you...
I do. I think it's important to me. At least, I mean, maybe not so many, but because I want to go to my kids' ball games at night and stuff
Right.
like that. You know,
Okay.
I'm not saying that because I do. It's a big part, especially, here. I love this meeting here where we can actually talk and, be open with it. It's like more of a class in the other meetings I go to.
Right.
We are told by our members that we are the best meeting.
That's true.
And
That's
our
I
meeting
love
is
it.
Unchained Recovery here on Friday nights from 6 to 8 at Unity Broadcast TV 39 Studios at 5525 Highway 178, Folsom, Mississippi.
And if you need any information or you need some help, give me a call. My name is Wilson Smith. My number is 662-551-0090.
And we are anonymous.
And while we're on the break in the conversation, let's give a big hoorah to our sponsors, Be Real Films. You can catch them on Facebook at facebook.com/B-Real-Films38843.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Shout out.
Hey.
So what tools do you use to stay clean now?
My meetings for sure, and just looking at my kids every day. Like they give me purpose. I've said that 1,000 times. I'm sure people get tired of hearing that, but they really do. Like they're the reason I get up and go to work, so I can provide for them and do for them, and they just kind of make me whole, and that makes me happy. So.
Coming from addiction to society in life on life's terms, how hard was it for you to get a job and to stand on your own feet and to, have what you have right now?
Right. It was super hard in the beginning because I had to explain that to my fiance. He's like, okay, we got to pay this bill, we got to pay this bill. Before, I never worried about that.
Right.
That never crossed my mind. So I had to change my whole way of thinking about it. And I got my job at Max Home. My boss, Lisa King, her husband is, I think 25 or 26 year recovering alcoholic. And so she kind of understood meetings and what I was doing and drug court and how it worked. And she gave me a chance, and it just all kind of worked out. I love it. I
That's
love my
awesome.
job. Yeah, I love the people I work with. It's awesome.
All recovering addicts need that one chance to prove to themselves that they can do it.
Right.
Because you don't have to prove it to anybody else. You have to prove it to yourself.
Absolutely.
And standing on your own 2 feet and doing what you have to do for yourself and your family is a pretty good feeling. It's awesome.
It really is. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give somebody who is wanting to get clean?
Definitely the people, places, and things. I mean, we run that in the ground, but that's absolutely my tool. Like, I cannot, unless I'm helping somebody, and that was further on in my recovery, you know, when I started trying to do that because I didn't trust myself in the beginning as much. But now I could, like, if I know somebody that's trying to get, you know, good help or whatever, I could go to them and talk to them, and I would be fine with it. Like, it would be fine. I wouldn't have to worry about falling back into it because actually, you know, I'm so strong in it now. I don't think I would do that. I hate to say never because they tell you not to say never.
Yeah, never say never.
But it's not in my heart anymore.
Right.
At all.
Right. Yeah, we have to change our mindset to get to where we are now.
Right.
And it's a complete change because we don't think like we used to think, and we're not doing what we used to do. And the body feels better, the mind's better, the heart's better.
You're not sick when you wake up in the morning.
Exactly.
You're like, what's going on? I feel good. You know, let me drink a cup of coffee and let's go. You know, that's kind of the way I feel in the mornings. But if I was on drugs, like if I was still taking pills or whatever, that would be the first thing on my mind when I woke up. If I went to sleep, you know, or through the night, just look in and talk. I didn't realize how consumed my life was by drugs because I thought, oh, I was just taking pills. I wasn't actually, you know, doing it, but I was on the phone constantly trying to figure out who had them and who's got them and where they're at and how much are they. And
you just wore yourself down.
To death. All day long you would just work, and I didn't even realize how much, like I said, it consumed me until I sat down and got sober and thought about it. And then you're thinking, okay, so what am I supposed to do with my day when you're sober?
Right.
You know, like I'm sitting here, I'm not looking for pills, I'm not trying to get high, so what am I supposed to do? So me, I go to work, keep my mom busy, go to meetings, keep my kids busy, you know, when I get home, do homework, and I really don't have time to find drugs right now, you know what I mean? And I hope I don't have time to find drugs tomorrow. Somebody told me that one time. Put it as the last thing on your list to do every day, you know, your drug of choice, whatever it is, and you'll never get to it.
Right. Yeah, because you never get to the last thing on
your
list.
Because you're just you pile yourself up.
Right.
That's exactly right.
There's so much stuff to do. And I remember when I was in addiction that, you know, I use meth, and I would use it, you know, periodically through the day because it's like I did it like cocaine. I'd hit a bump and keep going, you know, all day long. And then, like you said, I never slept, so I'd stay up 3 days and be an awful looking skeleton thing, fall asleep, and then wake up and do it all over again.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't have to search for it that much because everybody else was, and as long as they had it, I knew I had it.
Right,
so
yeah.
They were on the phones most of the time. And,
so you didn't have to do that part of it.
No. If I had to look for it, I believe maybe twice I was like really completely out, but for 3 years, maybe twice I was out in 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I can't imagine.
And I was like that for 3 whole years, and it's just crazy. I think about it now, I'm like,
how did you survive 3 years?
I know.
Ugh.
I know, and with the abusive people I had in my life.
Right. Yeah.
I had a little bit of crazy.
Yeah, we all did, I think.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
I had a lot of it.
We all did.
And then when I got sober, it took my year of celebrating. My dad actually said he didn't think I'd make it. And I was like, it's okay. I do care what he thinks, but I don't.
Right, you can't.
Because I have to do it for myself, and I've been doing it for myself this whole time.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It feels good, too. It really does.
It took me 7 months to get a job, girl.
Really?
Yes, I was scared to death of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a frightened little thing. I had to get sober, and I didn't know what to do. Where do you go?
Did you go to rehab or anything like that, or did you just woke up and say?
I woke up in drug court.
Woke up in drug court, okay, yeah.
That's my rehab right there.
I swear.
No, I didn't do rehab. I haven't, the IOP was my learning about the addiction.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's been great ever since when I learned about the addiction and know how to stay sober for myself and not worry about everybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, my mother still sometimes, she doesn't believe in me or whatever, which I'm not around her a lot, so I guess that has a lot to do with it too, but she's one of my triggers, I think, so I just kind of keep my distance and I get ill with her and I'm just like, I want to just,
Yeah, we have to figure out our triggers too. Absolutely. And sometimes they sneak up on you.
They do. Mm-hmm. They do.
I got a little brother that, he used to be a trigger until I let it go.
Right.
And I love him which I love them all.
Oh, yeah.
But he could really get under my skin and I don't let him anymore.
Right.
I learned to not
That's good.
I mean, I remember when I was 18, I knew everything, but I was married and I knew everything. So he's 18 and he knows everything.
Right, yeah, it's hard
So you have to think back
to
before
where you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard sometimes.
It is, because you want to reach out and choke him.
Yeah, it's the same way with the kids, you know, like I've got a 15-year-old daughter, and I'm just like, if you would just listen to me, I could keep you from making a lot of mistakes. I could keep you from a lot of heartache. But I remember when I was 15 or 16, I was like, my mother did not matter what she said. It did not matter what my daddy said, you know. I just try to throw wisdom in when I can.
Yeah.
And try to lead them in the right way and pray that, you know, everything works out for them. That's all I can do.
You know, they're going to make their mistakes. Hopefully they don't walk in the same path that we had walked.
Right. It's like I told her actually the other day, I said, Maddie, I said, one decision that you make could affect the rest of your life. I mean, and it's hard to put pieces back together once you've torn all these pieces down, you know, in life. It's super hard to build it back up.
Yeah, our puzzle's not put together yet.
Not yet.
But we have a whole sober life to put it together.
Yeah, we're still working
every
on
day.
it. That's exactly right.
So Britni used to come here to TV39 and sing when she was young.
Wow.
And so I guess it would be an appropriate question. How does God fit into your sobriety?
I was saved in 1993 at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, and for a long time when I was in my addiction, I ran from God. You know, He's never left me. I know that, or I would be dead. So I ran and hid, or I thought I was hiding, sort of. In my mind, I was not, you know, involving Him in what I was doing, because I knew it was wrong the whole time. But when I finally got sober, you know, I had to start praying to God. I was like, you know, just, even if it was just, God, just help me, you know. Help me. I don't know what I even need, but just help me.
Right.
You know, I feel terrible, or I feel this, or I feel that, just help me, you know. And it's went from that to praying a little bit longer and praying a little bit longer, you know, and having a better relationship with God. And I have a better relationship now with Him than I've ever had.
Right.
Ever. Because I can think clearly and I can see the blessings, you know.
Right.
Before I was like, God hates me, you know, God hates me. God's never hated me.
Right.
He's always loved me, and I just shut Him out.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like I said, that I'm sober, I can see the things around me that are happening, you know, the good things. There's still bad things that happen.
Oh, yeah, we struggle.
My motor locked up the other day. I've got to buy a new engine, but, you know, God's going to figure out a way for me to do it.
He will.
And I'm going to have my car back, and everything's going to be fine, and I'm just going to keep trucking along, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, bumps in the road are going to happen whether we're sober or whether in addiction. It's terrible. It's like they never stop. But when you're sober, you can at least see things around you, you know.
Right. To the ones that are out there that are still in addiction and thinking that they want to come out of addiction, you don't have to get caught up to get sober. You just need to know how to get sober. That's come to a meeting. Our meeting is Unchained Recovery, and we're here every Friday night. There's a meeting at Open Door, and it's called Celebrate Recovery on Tuesday nights at 6. They feed you. 6:30 it's a meeting. There's places that you can go to get help. You don't have to be caught up put in jail to get the help that you need. And God has never left you, because I understand when I first got sober and was thinking about God, I was like you, God, you know, I put myself, you know, my bottom had a basement, so I had to go, you know, because I thought God never, I mean, He wasn't going to, you know, come to me. But like you said, He never left me. He's always been with me. And I can see now where He is, like, lifted me up to keep me out of danger from the crazies that I had. I hate calling them crazies, but that's what they are. I put a label on them.
That's right.
Because I was one of them. I was one of the crazies.
Me too.
I didn't go as far as to wanting to kill anybody, or I didn't steal. I just stayed in my little bubble around the people that were around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I stayed. I wouldn't venture off. But I was a driver, so I'd stay in my car when I drove. I'd drive here, I'd sit in the car. If you leave me there
out.
longer than 15 minutes, I'm gone.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
in and out. That's the way we worked it.
Exactly.
And sometimes it took longer than 15 minutes, and I don't care. I was gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I remember. I remember the scared feeling that I always had.
Oh, yes.
Always had when I was on drugs, and it was any kind. Like, I'm scared the police are going to come in, or I'm scared this, or I'm scared somebody crazy is going to come in, or I'm scared this is going to happen. But now I don't have that scared feeling anymore. I know there's still crazies out there, but I know God's going to protect me from them because I'm trying to do the next right thing, and I have a good relationship with God, you know, so I don't worry about that as much. I don't have that scared feeling anymore.
I don't have that scared feeling either. I got scared about an ex-friend come up and knocked on my door. He had a gun. He was pointing it at me, and I know that was God. That was truly God, because I looked at him. I said, son, if you're going to point a gun at somebody, just, you know, shoot
Do
him.
it.
I shut the door and walked in the house. Poor thing followed me.
Oh, my goodness.
But that was God. God was protecting both of us.
Mm-hmm.
He sure was.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah,
definitely.
oh my goodness, that's so scary. Yeah, because God still loves you in addiction. Like, He still protects you, and He still loves you. He still wants you to come to Him, you know. And like you said, the best way to do that is come to meetings and get your life right, because you can't have a good relationship with God when you're on drugs. I mean, you just can't.
Some people think that they can.
I don't think so.
No, they cannot. Like Pastor said Sunday night or Sunday morning, you might can come and praise God high, but He's not left you.
Right.
Your mind is not straight enough, you know, clear enough and straight enough to know what you're doing. Because you know, when you're when I was on meth, I was feeling good all the time.
Right.
You know, it was
so you didn't get the feeling of God. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But you do feel.
Oh,
you
man.
do feel, but
I cry over everything now.
Yeah,
like, I'm an emotional person. Like, I never was that before. I was like, so what? You know, whatever. But now, like, I care for people. My heart breaks for people. You know, like, it really, it makes me sad sometimes just to think about the people that I know that are still out there. And I'll just literally start crying, and my husband's like, what are you crying about now? You know. Right. But I do. I have feelings, and my heart's tender now, I guess, more tender than it's been. And, yeah, it's a really good feeling, though.
It is.
It's happy.
That's a good happy feeling.
Yeah, it's a happy feeling.
Love being happy.
We are about to run out of time. So is there anything you'd like to put out there to the world?
No. Just, if you're even questioning it, just pray, and God will give you the strength, I believe, to come to a meeting. Come to your church, you know, open door here at Unity Broadcasting. And we can just talk to you, you know. I mean, we don't have to do anything special. You don't have to be on TV, nothing like that. We'll love you, and we'll talk to you, and we'll answer any questions you have and try to help you as much as possible.
And it's anonymous. When you come up here to talk to us, we don't go around just telling everybody. It's between whoever you're talking to and you. And, you just got to make that first step. Mm-hmm. And the first step is admitting that you have a problem and that you need help with it. And then do the next step is get the help that you need and stay away from people, places, and things. It's going to be hard at first. It is a struggle. But once you start getting good people in your life and like coming to meetings, and like Britni and I, we didn't know each other before, and we're such good friends now. We have a connection in this love that we just love each other as Wilson loves us all. Mm-hmm. But you got to make the first step. And
I know it's scary. That was the scariest part to me, was making that first step and going to rehab. You know, you don't have to go to rehab, but that was a scary feeling for me to know that I wasn't going to do, you know, my whole life is about to change. But I promise it's for the best and the better.
It's a lot better than the addiction.
Yes.
And don't forget, our Unchained Recovery meeting is at 6 p.m. tomorrow, I guess it's tomorrow here, but not when you watch this, on Friday nights at 6 p.m. And we give signatures for Child Protective Services and Drug Court, and it's 5525 Highway 178 in Fulton, Mississippi. And you can reach me at 662-551-0090. Britni, thanks for coming to see us tonight.
Thank you, Britni. I love you too. Hope to see you there.